In this video, I want to review what we did in Analytics Activity 1. So what you're going to need to do is log in to your Posit.cloud account. And once you're logged in, click on that Analytics Activity 1 that we did. I want to do one more example. So while this is cooking, let me go back to Analytics Activity 1. If you recall, what we did was we worked with a hotel data set. And this would be the data dictionary. So I didn't provide this in Analytics Activity 1, but I went ahead and did it for Analytics Activity 2. It'll be one of your links in the instructions. This would be something that would be useful whenever you're working with a data set, to have some kind of data dictionary prepared by the people who created the database to begin with. And so you're going to know the name of the variable and then the explanation behind those different variables. So one of our research questions, well, the only research question we did was this one about how many people in the hotel data set sample most recently stayed in a hotel alone, as part of a couple, or with other family members. And we looking at a frequency distribution of the type variable. So here are the three different variables there. One is for alone, two is for as part of a couple, and then three is with family members, including children. So let's see if this is ready. Okay, so recall from this activity that I gave you a hotel data set, the Excel sheet, and this one we imported into this Posit Cloud account, and then we went through the steps of getting it imported into. Once we uploaded the file, I should start with that. We uploaded that and then we imported it into this panel right here. And then we use scripts to run our analysis. In this case, we just added some comments to describe what the script is. And then we installed and activated the summary tools package. And then we ran the frequency distribution on the type variable, and the name of our data set is hotel. So this would be the code behind doing something like that. And from here, we saw the results, and that's how we were able to answer our research question. So it showed us that 27 people was number one, 29 was two, and 19 was three. So in comparing that to our data dictionary, 27 chose one, so that's alone. 29 chose two, so that's as part of a couple. And then number three, there were 19 with family members, including children. So that's pretty simple, right? And so I want to do one more example using this. And this time around, I took this away too quickly. This time around, I want to look at, let's see, the promo. So there were three options, three different types of promotions. One was for 50% happy hour discount, two, complimentary daily breakfast for stays of two or more nights, and then three was 2,000 reward bonus points for a second night stay. And our research question, so remember, when we're looking at data, we always start with a research question and then we look to the data to see how we can answer that. For this review example, the research question is this. People in the sample were shown three promotions and chose which one they liked best. So those were the three that I just talked about. Which promotion was liked by the most people in the sample? Well, I already had the answer here, but to get to that, we need to do a frequency distribution. And one thing I wanted to say about the frequency distribution, and actually let me pause my video real quick. Okay, I'm back. I needed to pull up our ebook because I accidentally closed it. So what we're doing is related to what we learned in 2.5 about data understanding, preparation, and transformation. When we're looking at data, we want to get to know our data. So one of those would be to take a look at what each variable means. And then when it comes to data like promo, so this is an example of a nominal kind of variable because it is in categories. There's category 1, category 2, and category 3 in this case. And it doesn't matter what order they're in, so it's not ordinal. When it comes to those kind of variables, when it comes to nominal variables, one way we could explore the data is to run a frequency distribution to see like how many of each we have. So in this case, we can go to the console right here where you have the greater than sign. So I'm at the bottom left of my screen and we'll type in this code, frequency hotel dollar promo. So this would be a good time for me to mention again that we are all about using software to help us with statistical analysis. So yeah, we need to learn a few statistical concepts, but when it comes time to start running stuff, we're not going to be too interested in the math. The math that we're going to do in here would be just the simple kind of arithmetic type of math that you would do in elementary school. We'll let the computer do all the calculations for us. And right now, we're also just getting comfortable with using R for that purpose of learning about analysis and things of that nature, analytics. And the other thing I wanted to say was when it comes to R, sometimes, and this is just the nature of programming, sometimes you're going to run into problems. And in many ways, part of analysis work is debugging your code, finding where you typed something incorrectly and seeing if you can recover from that. So that's not just the case with this kind of programming. For example, I do web coding, so I use HTML, CSS, PHP, and yes, a big chunk of my time is also about debugging the code. And when it comes to our examples in this class, there it's gonna happen to where maybe sometimes you'll get frustrated and it's just not gonna work correctly. And what I would suggest, my recommendation, is our examples are short enough that really instead of trying to figure out where you went wrong, my recommendation would be to just start over from the beginning because there's not going to be a lot of code. So it'll be easier to recover that way. All right, so with that background information, once you've typed in this exactly as you see it, because R is pretty fussy about syntax, once you have this ready, go ahead and click on return. And you'll see that, yeah, I was trying to remember this, but I'm not sure what that message is right now. But if you got a warning message like that, really in this case, it's not a big deal. We have the correct response here. So we had, let me compare it to my notes. We had 19 people choose, I've lost my screen. There we go. Too many screens going on here. So sorry about that. Okay. So 19 people chose the 50% happy hour discount. And then 21 people chose 2. So that's complimentary daily breakfast for stays of 2 or more nights. And then number 3 was the 2,000 reward bonus points. So in this case, our research question was which one did people like the best? Well, based on this, the highest number is 35, number 3. So the answer is this. So, and I worded it like this. And this is the way we're going to want to answer our research questions so that it's something that could be understood by our managers. So in this case, the answer is of the 76 people in the sample. So if you look, it says that we had a total of 76. Of the 76 people in the sample, people liked the 2,000 reward. Oh, I spelled that wrong. 2,000 reward bonus points for a second night stay, the most at 35, compared to 19 for the 50% happy hour discount and 21 for the complimentary daily breakfast for stays of 2 or more nights. So this is really the way I would like for you to answer questions, research questions, because we want to be thorough. All right, so that's the review information. In the next video, we'll do some more in R.